I'm here with Jim Gamble today, one of the veteran realtors here in Kansas City. So excited to get to know you more and chat about all things real estate.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
How did you get into real estate?
Well, I think the seeds were planted when I was growing up
Okay.
at the Lake of the Ozarks. And both my father and his father were living at the lake with their respective wives and families.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both what I would describe as kind of two-bit developers.
Okay.
Bought and sold some land. My dad bought a peninsula and built a home. And I got to see that happen. While at the same time, I was working on like the gas docks in the summertime, pumping gas for the boats coming in and, you know, selling ice and beer and whatnot.
That had to be fun.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
It was a blast. And it was a business that's very similar to real estate where you meet people and you solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And their problem is like, we need gas and we go take our trash and do you have any ice? And I would do that with a smile and try to exceed their expectations. And the end result would be they're happy and they pay and then they give me a tip.
Love
Hundreds and hundreds of times over the course of, you know, many years growing up down there.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of the beginning of my working in customer service, if you will.
Gotcha. So sales, it sounds like, has always been in the blood.
Yeah.
Perfect. So after working summers at the lake, how did real estate fit in? Where did it come from?
Well, I mean, I went to the University of Missouri and then graduated after 4 years. And each year I came back to the lake and worked in room service at the Lodge of the Four Seasons. So again, it was a customer service job. It was largely straight commission. But then after that, I worked out of college. I took a job in St. Louis that was short-lived. And then I took a job kind of on the road doing some marketing for a tobacco company. And that I didn't enjoy being on the road 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. So I landed in Kansas City. And at that time, I just told this company, it's like, I'm giving my notice. I'm staying here. So I got a job at Kelly's, carrying trays of beer.
Okay.
And interviewed for the Federal Reserve Bank because I even have an econ degree. And I'm so glad that I did not get offered a job there.
Okay.
Because that could have been like the most boring work ever.
Yeah, I remember econ in college was the class everybody dreaded, but it does play such an important part in real estate and understanding the market. So
that was the best degree that I could get in the School of Arts and Sciences because I wasn't I wasn't a great student.
Okay. So
when you're not a great student, you don't get invited into the business school.
Right. I didn't either. Communications degree.
So yeah, but I was working at Kelly's and a friend of mine that I met through MU alumni, he said, Gamble, you should become a realtor. And I really didn't have anything to say, but it's like, okay. and so that was in 1985 and got licensed. And then I think I officially joined the National Association of Realtors in June of 1986.
86. Okay. So officially joined and started in 86. What did that first year look like for you building your real estate business?
I was not intentional. I was a 23-year-old single man living, near the country called Plaza and doing all the things that, people that did not have clarity in their life were doing.
Sure.
And so
you were young.
It was a struggle. And I honestly, the first year when I went to do my taxes, my accountant said, how did you lose money? You made this much and you spent this much. How did that happen? And then I showed him my 4 credit card bills, my balances. It's like, that's how it happens. So I incurred debt because I was not intentional.
Okay.
But then, and I got serious traction when I did not have to worry about just myself, but when I met my wife, then fiance, and I I grew up very quickly.
Okay. So looking back then, knowing what you know now, what would you tell young Jim, young realtor Jim?
I don't know that I really have any regrets. Yeah, I came to Kansas City really not knowing anybody other than a few people that I had met at Mizzou. And so I became a joiner.
Okay.
And first thing I did was I joined a church. And I didn't join a church to put business cards under their, windshield wipers.
Sure.
No, I mean, I joined a church because I was looking for a community of like-minded people. And then I joined the MU Alumni Association local chapter. And I got involved in that chapter. Myself and another gal co-founded what's called the Tiger Ball. And
cool.
The Tiger Ball is a fundraiser for the local chapter. This April will be its 27th year.
Wow.
And we founded that fundraiser because we saw the University of Kansas hosting their Rock Chalk Ball. And I'm going like...
Absolutely. I think I need an invite to that as a Mizzou grad.
April 11th.
Okay.
It's a Jay Rieger. So that was an opportunity to join an organization, learn about the organization, get involved, and then ultimately lead. And when you do that with people that have similar interests, they will gravitate toward people that, they're doing things side by side with you. And you're building relationships. And so I've sold a lot of real estate to people that I've met through the University of Missouri.
That's incredible. So it sounds like you've built your business, and correct me if I'm wrong, through building relationships.
Absolutely.
Is that fair?
Yeah. And I can list Leukemia Society, Children's Mercy Hospital, American Royal, Halbert Country Club, the O.E. Ellis Society, which is a men's club that I'm in. So, and these are just all, and being a season ticket holder for Mizzou football for 30 years. Just all those activities create, spheres of influence. When you give not expecting anything in return, that people gravitate toward that.
Absolutely. And it sounds like to me that building your business was by doing things that you enjoy. And so while you didn't join the communities and be a part of everything with the intention of building business, that's just what naturally came. And it has to be a much more rewarding and fun way to do business.
It is. I mean, my success is a byproduct of giving back and of building relationships. And at the same time, I mean, I can remember my very first broker, Jenny Alexander. She gave me this roll of tickets for the RPAC auction and for the raffle. And I got involved. I got on the RPAC committee, the auction committee. And then before I knew it, I was chairing that committee. And before I knew it, I was involved in the leadership at Heartland MLS and then KCRAR and then Missouri Realtors. And where I was in Washington yesterday, not Washington, I was in Jeff City yesterday for a Capital Day. I was in Washington last week for NAR, and all that giving back to the realtor community, people are going like, what are you doing that for? Because, I mean, those people aren't going to let you sell their homes. It's like, well, you're right. They're not. But what I've been able to learn is I've learned leadership. And I've learned how to, be a good committee member and how to chair a meeting and how to run a meeting and how to talk to people, whether it's talk to one person or talk in front of 50 people. I
feel like I've talked to so many realtors to learn their stories, and very few are as involved with, real estate and NAR and everything. So it's really wonderful to hear just how involved you are and treating this so much more than my business is just selling homes and helping people buy?
Through Missouri Realtors, Kansas Realtors, Region 9, which includes Arkansas and Oklahoma, as well as the National Association of Realtors. Don't forget, I've met and I have hundreds of friends coast to coast that are exceptional realtors in their respective communities. And guess what? My phone rings a lot.
You've been doing this now for 40 years, almost. For people who are just getting started in real estate, what is one bit of advice that you would give them?
Whether you're a Keller Williams agent or not, Keller Williams teaches you to not just to be a realtor, but to how to run a business, how to make this more than a job, to make it a career, to make it a profession. And it kind of comes down to, what do you do each and every day? What activities are you doing each and every day, such that doing those activities generates the conversations. Activities create conversations, or activities oftentimes are conversations. Conversations then turn into appointments. You go in that appointment to do what? To get an agreement, a listing agreement or a buyer agency agreement, which ultimately will turn into, a transaction, which turns into gross commission income. So when you think about that series of steps, and you say, well, how do you want, what's your big life look like? If you killed it in 5 years, tell me what that looks like for you.
Yeah.
And then put a number to it. And is it the car you drive, and is it the house, or is it the relationship with your children? Whatever it is, figure out what that is, and then work backwards. And then once you know that number and those goals, work backwards, and then focus on the tasks that you do each and every day. And so when I get up every day and I just I do my thing, and my thing is it's a very task oriented. I take a lot of notes. I make notes, and I'm always crossing notes off and taking that old note and taking the things that didn't get crossed off and putting them on. And it's just an endless, I don't want to call it this endless hamster wheel, but through doing that, those are activities that are largely income producing activities.
Absolutely. And it sounds like in your case, especially, they're activities that actually bring you joy for the most part. What, in your opinion, you've been doing it for 40 years. So would love to hear your words of wisdom for how you handle situations that don't go as planned.
I think you face them head on. Anytime where there's a conflict, it's an opportunity for you to expose your character. I can remember listing a house for somebody, and I forgot to tell them told them what the commission was, but I didn't tell them about the little $250 transaction fee.
Okay.
And it was a big sale. When he saw that settlement statement when we sold the property, he got so mad about that little fee, and I didn't say, what's the big deal?
Sure.
I didn't say that. I said, you know what? You're right. If I probably forgot to mention that, and let me pay for that for you. And I apologize for overlooking that. It was not intentional. It's funny. People have such a hard time apologizing.
Yep.
And an apology is so powerful, because it takes, once you say you're sorry, you take all the air out of, the attack that might be coming at you.
Sure. Sometimes it's us getting in our own heads and building the apology up to be something that once you say I'm sorry or take ownership of your mistake, it's really not as big of a deal as we created it to be.
And even it might not even be my apology to give, but
sure.
if I can use an apology to take air out of the balloon and to take pressure off a situation, that's how you're going to get past it.
Yeah.
And so, but there are also times when, I'm not going to admit guilt for something that I didn't do, but at the same time, I'm not going to say, I told you so.
Right. Right.
You got
Well, and we have to understand that this is like a super stressful situation for the buyer or seller. Moving is one of the major stressors. And so we're not really seeing them at their best, or just seeing them
no.
at their stressed.
But you also want to let them know that these transactions,
Yeah.
they're not easy.
Right.
They're going to be bumpy. Whether it's
Mhm.
whether you're building a house or just buying a house or selling a house, there will be bumps along the way.
Sure. So setting that expectation from the very beginning and not just coming in, it's going to be perfect and everything's going to go great.
Perfect is a bad
Such
word.
a bad word.
Not in our business.
Mm-hmm.
There's a women's basketball coach from North Carolina, no, or Duke. It's a great YouTube video, and she just talks to these players, and she says, you know, life is hard, and it's never gonna get easy. Life will always be hard. What you have to learn to do is, how do you handle hard better? You have to get better at handling hard. And so that's the way I look at it. I mean, there's always going to be potholes, but I know how to handle them because I've seen them before.
Yep.
And I can handle those situations better than probably people that don't look at it that way.
Sure. It sounds like you don't internalize it and let it affect you personally.
Only when there's a seller or a client, a buyer or seller, that no matter what you do, you can feel the energy that it's not good enough.
Okay.
And when they put that kind of negative mojo in my body, I can feel it.
Okay.
And it is a horrible feeling when you know that what you're doing is right and it's not good enough. No matter what you do is not good enough. And I love telling those clients, it's like, you know what? I don't think I'm the right agent for you. You know, there are people, a lot of people in this business struggle. It's a hard business.
Sure.
And, you know, you invest time and effort in a customer or a client, and they start like disrespecting you, and you think, oh my gosh, I've spent so much time on this, and it's hard to say goodbye. And sometimes because it's like, I'm too invested to say goodbye.
I've spent so much time and energy, and we're so close. And sometimes just releasing them to the better fit opens you up for more business.
Oh yeah.
40 years. What's next?
So I'm 63. I surprisingly, I had my best year in real estate last year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Which 25 was a down year for so many agents.
Was it?
Yeah. And for you to have your best year ever, incredible. That's awesome.
I try very hard to be positive. I'm kind of a glass half full guy.
Sure. You didn't even know that most agents had a down year last year. So that's like, awesome.
Because, you know, listen, your mindset is so extremely powerful. I had a medical issue last year. I had prostate cancer, and I got through that, you know, in 2025. And even with those hurdles in my life, I was still able to achieve, you know, I exceeded my goals. The goals that I set, what are those on that the scorecard? Yep. I blew my scorecard away.
That's awesome.
But listen, I mean, my peer group, they're buying and selling their most expensive homes right now.
Sure.
And I'm like, I can't leave.
Yeah.
And I still love what I'm doing. Now, would I also love to go to Florida for 2 weeks and just see what it's like? Because I've got friends that they're in Florida and they're in Arizona, and they are doing what retirement looks like.
Yep.
And I'm not doing that, but I'm sure thinking about it more often than I used to. And the only thing I can't do in Kansas City is I can't show homes. Yeah. I can do everything else from out of town.
Sure.
And there are airplanes. So I mean, I can. So do I want to find a place to call home away from home in the next couple of years? Maybe.
Sure, that's exciting.
And I'd like to get the Gamble Group, which is, right now a very small group. I'd like for that to be a much stronger, like a four-legged stool. Because I don't want business slipping through my fingers.
Sure.
I don't want to say no to my repeat and my referral business.
It's just now February. What does the rest of the year look like for you? What are you most excited about for real estate this year?
Yeah, I'm looking at my pipeline, and it doesn't feel as vibrant as 2025.
Okay.
I'm not terribly worried about it because I know what it costs to run my life, and I've been able to do that for the last 20 years. So I'm not too worried about not making enough money.
Okay.
I was recently selected to be a vice chair for a federal RPAC disbursements committee.
Okay.
Which is a committee of 20 people that represents the 1.5 million members of NAR that basically distributes $50 million every 2 years, every election cycle, to candidates that are pro real estate. I'm really excited to serve in a leadership capacity on that committee, and with that comes more travel. Sure. Especially with this being a mid-year election year.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that. I'm taking a golf trip in August to Scotland.
Cool.
And in September, my wife and I are going to take a Rhine River, a river cruise on a Viking river, one of those river boats. I've never been on one of those.
So fun.
And so we're doing some of that, but at the same time, I've got, I know my phone's going to ring.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue to stir the pot. And I know I've got a lot of people that are going to want to list or sell or buy real estate. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm not thinking all business this year.
And you don't need to.
I don't need to. Yeah. Just keep doing what I'm doing, and the recipe works.
Yep.
So I'm just going to keep at it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and insight into how you built your business. I really do appreciate you taking the time to chat today.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been a pleasure.